there is a rivalry that I'm not sure has had the same juice in years past, but there's always been bitter feelings between two fan bases, at least from one side towards the other, that I think right now is throwing 106 miles per hour. It is a fantastic rivalry. But let's go back in time to a moment where you really understood the animosity between these two franchises, and specifically the fan base that I'm about to introduce to you. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you, at Veterans Stadium, Philadelphia Eagles fans on October 10th of 1999.
They say he has very good hands in addition to being tough. Irvin makes the catch from Aikman. Picked up about 8. Bobby Taylor with Michael Irvin, who stays down.
Here's Michael Irvin. He's going to run the slant. You see, he's going to come about 4 yards and just come to the inside. Bobby Taylor was a little slow getting a jump on that, and it was the second guy in that got Michael Irvin.
You might notice the cheering in the background. This is perhaps the worst moment, or for Philadelphia Eagles fans, the best moment in the history of the Eagles fan base. E-O-G-L-A-E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! They were cheering when Michael Irvin was lying on the ground after perhaps suffering an injury that could have paralyzed him. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Somebody flashed by, hit him in the back, maybe in the helmet with a knee.
Still.
I think it was Houck.
No one's getting quiet.
Yeah, you know,
on the
we
ground.
talk about hitters. The Eagles have one in this Tim Houck. He's number 45, and it looks like him. He's going to come flying by. You see, Irvin sees him, and Houck comes and just lowers it on him right there.
YouTube.
Looks like some helmet to helmet.
It looked like he was trying to use his helmet, but I think Michael Irvin was lucky in that he saw him, because, you know, after he got by Bobby Taylor, he catches that ball. Now watch, Michael Irvin sees that coming. Tim Houck does lead with his helmet on there. He tries to go helmet to helmet, but Michael Irvin gets his head down, and it wasn't helmet to helmet.
His head got twisted underneath against the artificial turf. And it's hard here at Veterans Stadium right now. For another update, let's return to Jim.
So there you go. Pat Summerall, John Madden on the call on Fox. If you watch that, I mean, he hasn't moved. It is interesting to show on Fox, instead of like going away from the injury, they just keep on showing the replay of a defender hitting Irvin in the back. In slow motion, it actually doesn't look as bad as some of the hits that you see today. But Irvin's out of the game, and Eagles fans cheer. Eagles-Cowboys is the best rivalry in the NFL right now on December 15th of 2022. And the reason it's so good is not just because these are two of the top 5 teams in the NFL. Eagles, based off of their record, their average margin of victory, are the best team in the league, even if you have some questions about who they've played. I would say that the Cowboys, given their defense and the fact that they beat the Cincinnati Bengals earlier this year with Cooper Rush under center, are the 3rd best team in the NFL, behind the Buffalo Bills, ahead of Cincinnati, who I would have as the 4th, as things currently stand. 2 of the best teams in the league, and there's beef between the 2 teams. And I think that's what's most interesting. To have a rivalry, you need to have some shit talk or some actual animosity between the 2 teams, or maybe just a healthy skeptic. Courtesy of the Voncast, featuring Von Miller, it's his podcast, and Micah Parsons, we learn that Micah Parsons isn't so sold on Eagles quarterback and MVP frontrunner Jalen Hurts.
Hurts or the team? I think it's a little bit of both, man. I think
It's system and team.
I think it's a little bit of both, man, because they got a great offensive line, which helps Hurts. Hurts has A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. They got a good running game.
I mean, Miles Sanders.
They scheme that they have.
O-line. I mean, bro,
Hey, this Eagles Cowboys coming up, ain't it?
Yeah, it's coming up. I'm not trying to make no enemies. I just love the game so much, and I understand it so much that I can't. I when things are off, I just can't hold it in. I almost gotta say something.
Yeah, you're right. They got a great team, great defense.
But everyone has their own opinions.
But they got Jalen Hurts is.
He's good. He's good.
They got him for the MVP race with Patrick Mahomes.
So Micah Parsons is at the very least willing to admit that Jalen Hurts is good. But if you watch that, you see Parsons getting annoyed when Von Miller, the first person to talk there, if you're just listening to the audio version of it, Von Miller says that, no, it's a little bit of both Hurts being in this MVP conversation, where Micah Parsons thinks it is what they are doing as a team. Now, that led to no retort from Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback, but it did lead to a retort from Philadelphia Eagles left tackle Jordan Mailata. Let's shift over to this soundbite.
I'm going to worry about the Chicago Bears this week, man. Worry about this game. Michael should worry about his game this week, too. So, even at half again. I don't know how they're playing. Part of my language. I mean, just worry about you got this week. Right? That's how we do it here. I'm not going to worry about any other comments anybody said. That's just how we focus and run about our business. We got the Chicago Bears, not the Chicago Micah Parsons. That's how we worry about it.
It's a little bit difficult to understand him, not just because of the Australian accent. Do you need subtitles for Australian accents? But also because of the audio quality there. But Jordan Mailata, the Eagles left tackle, speaks up here where Jalen Hurts wouldn't and say, look, we're focused on the Bears. The Eagles play the Bears on Sunday. The Cowboys play the Jacksonville Jaguars. Then these two teams will show down with one another for the second time this year after the Eagles did beat the Cowboys. I think it was in week 6, week 7 with Cooper Rush under center for Dallas. I think the final score was 26-17. Anyway, they will play each other on Christmas Eve in the late afternoon game, which is next Saturday. To have a good rivalry, you need to have a back and forth. And it's not like Jalen Hurts is saying, Micah Parsons sucks, Dallas is stupid. No, that's not happening here. What is happening, though, is a clear continuation of disrespect coming out of the Cowboys locker room towards Jalen Hurts, which is, in my opinion, somewhat understandable. I like Jalen Hurts, the leader. I like Jalen Hurts, the runner. And I think that Jalen Hurts, the passer, has made some impressive strides this season, though it does help that he has A.J. Brown, monster wide receiver, Devontae Smith, as the two lead targets for him, Miles Sanders, a very good running game, and a great defense, too. The Eagles are a damn complete team, which is really impressive considering you thought that they were in the midst of a takedown when they decided to blow Doug Peterson out. And Howie Roseman started to do all sorts of different moves for Philadelphia. You thought, okay, well, maybe they're going to go back to the Stone Age a bit, which is interesting given that they had won a Super Bowl in the 2017-2018 season over my New England Patriots and specifically one Tom Brady. But this is the best rivalry in the NFL, as Stone Jam 206 says on the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/Gallant says, everyone gets a Christmas Eve present. I can't wait for this because I think there will be actually some vitriol between the two teams. I think this is the best rivalry in the NFL in 2022. And the disrespect that has continuously been shot Hurts' way by the Cowboys makes it great. This happened on October 13th of 2022 before the Cowboys and Eagles played. It wasn't Micah Parsons, but it was DeMarcus Lawrence, who also had some questions about the one and only Jalen Hurts. Let's take a listen.
Is this the biggest challenge your defense faced this season? From an offensive standpoint?
I think it's still areas that he struggles in, so, just attack the areas.
What have you seen differently from Hurts, how he's grown? I know you guys have faced him twice as a starter, but he's taken a real step.
Hey, how about this? That's the last question I'm here about Hurts.
The last question I'm going to hear about Hurts, but he wasn't done talking about Jalen Hurts. There are a couple of comments from DeMarcus Lawrence on one Jalen Hurts. So let's go to the last clip of DeMarcus Lawrence talking Hurts.
About them, never worried, never from any situation, but I just want y'all to understand that, we come to play too. Appreciate y'all.
And then they keep it going, this interview with DeMarcus Lawrence. They got questions about Jalen Hurts, and this is the first time that we're going to see the Eagles and Cowboys play this season with Dak Prescott under center. Not this weekend, the weekend afterwards. And I think it's the best rivalry in the NFL because you got the two best records, and you don't really know what's going to happen this time around. Cowboys were at the very least somewhat respectable with Cooper Rush under center in that game, but that was the game where Cooper Rush fell back to earth and started to play poorly. And thankfully stopped all the conversation about, is there a quarterback controversy in Dallas? I will say, though, Dak Prescott's the big reason that people have questions about the Dallas Cowboys right now. So that's why there are some questions about whether or not the Cowboys, even at full strength, and with T.Y. Hilton aboard and with Tyron Smith back, would potentially beat the Eagles on Christmas Eve, on Saturday. I'm excited for that game, though. I think it's going to be a very fun one. It's the best rivalry in the NFL. Like, what else are you even putting on the same street as those two teams this year? Because right now in the AFC, it's more so quarterback rivalries than it's team rivalries, isn't it? It's Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes won the game in the playoffs last year. Josh Allen won the game in this year's regular season. And then you've got Chiefs-Bengals, where Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have lost to the Bengals all 3 times. Team on team, what do you have? Like, you used to have just Tom Brady versus insert quarterback. It was Peyton Manning back in the day. It was Patrick Mahomes to an extent the last couple of years. It was Aaron Rodgers when Brady moved over to the NFC. And I suppose it was Tom Brady and the Patriots against the Ravens. It was Tom Brady and the Patriots against the Giants. But I don't know. As far as team-on-team rivalry, the Steelers and Ravens, the Steelers stink right now, and the Ravens don't look like themselves. It's not the same black and blue kind of game that you're used to in the AFC North. Falcons and Saints fans hate each other, but who cares about those two teams? The Packers and Bears, it's never been a rivalry. It's so damn one-sided in favor of Green Bay. I guess the Bucks and Saints over the last couple of seasons, but again, the Saints are kind of dead this year. There is one, I suppose, that you could bring up if you want. It is the rivalry between the Seattle Seahawks and San Francisco 49ers.